Most people will never be free, not because they are chained, not because they are poor, but because they chose their cage and called it comfort. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this coming over 100 years ago, and he had zero sympathy for it. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to decode one of the most confronting ideas in all of philosophy. And by the end, you will never look at your daily life the same way again. Friedrich Nietzsche was not a gentle philosopher. He did not write to make you feel good about yourself. He wrote to disturb you, because he believed that disturbance was the only real path to strength. Born in 1844 in Prussia, Nietzsche watched the modern world take shape. Industrialization, the collapse of traditional religion, the rise of mass culture, and what he saw disturbed him deeply. Not because the world was becoming more violent, but because it was becoming more comfortable, more passive, more asleep. Nietzsche believed that most human beings, when given the choice between truth and comfort, will choose comfort every single time. And he believed this choice, repeated across a lifetime, is a slow death of the soul. This is not ancient history. This is Tuesday morning. This is the scroll. This is the snooze button. This is the life you are living on autopilot while something deeper in you waits to be claimed. In his masterwork, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche introduced one of the most confronting characters in all of philosophy, the last man. The last man is not evil. He is not cruel. He does not oppress anyone. He is something far more dangerous. He is content. The last man wants warmth. He wants safety. He wants just enough entertainment to avoid asking the hard questions. He blinks, that is Nietzsche's word. He blinks at the idea of greatness, of struggle, of becoming something more than what he already is. And Nietzsche's warning was this: modern civilization is engineering a world full of last men, a world that rewards compliance over courage, comfort over creation, safety over self-overcoming. Here is the terrifying part. He may have been right, and the last man does not even know he is the last man. That is the most chilling part of all. Nietzsche believed that most human beings operate from what he called the herd mentality, following the values handed to them by society, religion, family, and culture, without ever questioning whether those values are actually theirs. He called this slave morality, not slavery in the physical sense, but a slavery of the psyche, a slavery of the will. When you live by someone else's idea of what is good, what is safe, what is acceptable, you are not living, you are performing. You are wearing a mask so convincing, you've forgotten there's a face underneath it. Nietzsche's answer to all of this was the Übermensch, a word that has been wildly mistranslated and misused for over a century. It does not mean Superman in the comic book sense. It does not mean a master race. It does not mean dominating others. Nietzsche would be horrified by those interpretations. The Übermensch literally means the one who overcomes, not others, himself, his own weakness, his own inherited limitations, his own comfortable lies. The Übermensch creates his own values from the ground up. He looks at the abyss, the full terror and uncertainty of existence, and he does not flinch. He takes complete responsibility for who he becomes. Nietzsche was not describing a superhero. He was describing a choice available to every human being, a choice most people will never make. Not because they cannot, but because it is hard, and the herd offers so much warmth. Most people spend their entire lives becoming very good at being who they were told to be. Nietzsche called this the greatest tragedy a human being can commit against themselves. Now, and this is important, Nietzsche was not a perfect thinker, and part of decoding ancient wisdom honestly means holding what is true alongside what is incomplete. Nietzsche had almost no language for community, for love, for the ways in which human beings heal and grow through connection rather than through solitary will. His vision of the Übermensch is almost entirely individual, isolated, self-made. Carl Jung would later point out what Nietzsche missed, that the deepest transformation does not happen in isolation. It happens in relationship, with a mentor, with a community, with the parts of yourself you can only see reflected in another person. Nietzsche also underestimated how much our capacity for self-overcoming depends on our starting conditions, our trauma, our nervous system, our early wounds. Telling someone to simply will their way to greatness ignores real human complexity. So here is how to hold Nietzsche correctly. Take the fire, take the demand for self-examination, take the refusal to settle for a sleepwalk life, but do not take it as a permission to isolate. Do not take it as a reason to be ruthless with yourself or others. The goal is not a harder self, the goal is a freer one. Wisdom without compassion becomes cruelty, and Nietzsche, for all his brilliance, sometimes forgot that. Look at modern life through Nietzsche's eyes for a moment. We have more entertainment than any civilization in human history, and record levels of meaninglessness. We have more choices than ever before, and more people who feel paralyzed, purposeless, and quietly desperate. Nietzsche would not be surprised. He would point to the scroll, the algorithm, the content designed to keep you stimulated just enough to never ask the deeper question, what am I actually here to do? He would say, you have traded your will for your comfort. And the cruelest part is, you do not even know it, because the cage is invisible. It looks like your job, your routine, your very reasonable life. But here is what Nietzsche also believed, and this is the part most people miss. He was not pessimistic about human beings. He was demanding of them. He believed the capacity for greatness lives inside every single person. The question is whether you have the courage to claim it. The algorithm did not create the last man, but it did give him a home in a very comfortable chair. So let us end with something practical. 3 things Nietzsche would ask you to do, not as philosophy, but as lived practice. First, audit your values. Take one belief you hold about what you should do with your life and trace it back to its source. Is that belief yours? Or is it something you inherited, absorbed, never questioned? Just naming the origin changes everything. Second, choose one discomfort. Nietzsche believed that strength is built through voluntary struggle, through choosing hard things before life forces them on you. One hard conversation, one physical challenge, one creative risk you have been postponing. Start there. Third, stop waiting for permission. The herd runs on permission. Permission from authority, from family, from culture, from an algorithm. The first move toward your own values is always unauthorized, always slightly uncomfortable, always exactly right. Nietzsche did not offer us comfort. He offered us something rarer, a mirror. And the question the mirror asks is simple. Are you living or are you managed? The chains that are hardest to break are the ones you have decorated and called your personality. Ancient wisdom, decoded for the modern mind. If this landed for you, share it with someone still inside the cage. Subscribe to Ancient Mind Lab for more wisdom that actually challenges you. And drop in the comments, what is one value you have been living by that is not actually yours?